By the time I finally got around to booking this event at Sheffield, well, it was already full. Typical, right? It's like trying to buy concert tickets 5 minutes after they go on sale. Anyway, here we are, it's the 5th of September and I haven't yet qualified for the bikc regional finals at Leicester. But did that stop me from showing up? Of course not. Tonight's format is Team F1. We get a 10-minute qualifying session and then plot twist, the grid gets reversed as the two teams battle it out like it's Mario Kart minus the bananas and blue shells. Now let's add the first thing that Leicester are doing differently to Sheffield, because of course they do. The team pairings. Normally we'd qualify first and then the fastest driver would pair with the slowest driver, second fastest with the second slowest. It's like some weird speed dating for go-karters. But tonight, we drew names from a hat. Yes, that's how you know it's serious. Who needs strategy when you've got pure luck? My partner was a guy named Thomas and, well, let's just say I owe him a very big apology in advance, so sorry. Of course, this isn't my first rodeo at Leicester. I popped in one Sunday morning in March while on my way to Daytona Milton Keynes. Yes, I know I'm a karting addict. Despite it being a public session, the horror, I set a personal best of 37.749 seconds, and I left that day feeling like I was Lewis Hamilton. Today, I'm probably going to feel more like Lightning McQueen post-crash. So tonight's fun begins with flag tests. You know the usual. Yellow flag, you slow down. Green flag, you go. Your red flag, you stop. No, seriously, stop. Add that to the list of things Leicester does differently. When the red flag ends, they go straight to green again. No rest for the wicked, or the over-competitive apparently. You'll see more red flag drama later on, and spoiler alert, it's not pretty. I was told the karts might not be as fast as back in March, but I set a target lap time in the 37-second range. What can I say? I like to dream big. My first flying lap? Well, let's just say I've got some work to do. Maybe I should lower my expectations to just finish. However, after 15 laps of trying to convince myself that I'm not a slowpoke, I finally start my last lap. If you're enjoying my struggles so far, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, subscribing right now might just bring me the luck I need. Who knows, right? Now, did I hit my target lap time? No, nope. I qualified 10th, with my partner Thomas up in 3rd, making me look like I just learned how to drive. On the bright side, of the 4 Sheffield members racing, I wasn't the slowest. Silver linings, people. Dan and Darcy had it rough too, down in 12th and 13th place. At least they get to start near the front as well. So for the race, we switch karts and I get number 5. No idea if it's any good or not though. So I line up on the grid and I've got the inside line for the first couple of corners. But the hairpin has me sweating more than trying to explain memes to my parents. How hard could it be, right? Well, kart 4 had a spicy start from 4th place, so I move over to the outside for that scary hairpin. Darcy brakes early thanks to the slower kart, but it really doesn't matter because, drumroll, well, the yellow flag comes out. Someone passes me under the yellow flags too. Excuse me, what is this? Mario Kart with invisible mushrooms? It Really doesn't matter though, as we're lined up and get a restart instead. So we line up again and we wait for those lights. Kart 4 is now having a rough start. Amelia takes a peek up the inside, but nah, not today. We go side by side through the banked hairpin, and it's intense, like watching Fast and Furious movie, but with less Vin Diesel and more "please don't spin me out." And oh boy, Kart 4 goes for a dive bomb like it's Call of Duty. It doesn't end well, and I end up heading backwards, losing 4 places. Apparently, dive bombs are totally cool here though. Who knew? At this point, I see Thomas up ahead. "You're doing great. I'll just be back here trying to figure out how to drive this damn track." This guy in the blue suit got to my inside and made it up ahead. I need to refocus now, as this is just getting silly. Oh look, another dive bomb. Kart 10's gone full Need for Speed and ends up in the barrier. I'm just here for the entertainment at this point. The group appears to bunch up a little under this yellow flag. That's nice. And sometime later, the green flag comes back out. We flash forward a bit and I finally pass Kart 13, who, let's be honest, should have been driving with their hazards on in first place. I've caught up to the train ahead, and now I'm just waiting to see how things unfold, like the slowest action movie you've ever seen. Having caught up, I'm watching any moves up ahead to see how they're being done. Oh, hello. I didn't know anyone was that close behind me, as I was too busy watching those drivers up ahead. Guess who's back? It's another very late move by one of their members. I guess the staff can't see so well up on this part of the track. From a long way back, they've ended up locked up and sliding. I'm left with no choice but to go into the back of them. As there is a tangle up ahead, I temporarily get back in front of Kart 10 before being pushed wide into the barrier. Having been chasing the pack, that 37-second lap time comes back into my sights. Darcy and I have both pushed and started to catch back up though. The train is moving slowly, but there is no way through. I'm seeing that same move again up ahead, but it doesn't work out for them this time. Darcy even gets a sniff at passing her too. Darcy and I are still chasing Kart 10, who's out there like, catch me if you can, but then I lock up, tag Darcy, and now I'm thinking about starting an apology tour instead. I rounded the corner just in time to see Kart 10 get a warning for their contact. Now with a gap like that ahead, I get to really push and see what I can do. The kart feels a little boggy low down, so I'm trying to keep my minimum speeds as high as I can. I'm just not used to this slippery concrete though. That is much better. Not quite able to meet my public session personal best, but it's not too far off, and I've got plenty of laps left to try and improve it. For a very brief moment, the yellow flag makes a small appearance, and it's not even long enough to react and start slowing down. The back marker ahead gets well out of the way, but still ends up being tagged by another kart. But there's been a change of order of the drivers ahead, so now let's see if the blue suited driver can break away. A gap is appearing and Kart 10 is looking ready to make yet another move. But they're not going to go around the outside though. Aha! Loading through the hairpin, pushing them wide. That'll do it. And then, for good measure, turn in like they're not even there. That's a move that comes back to bite them next week's video. It looked like another bit of loading there, that's pushing the kart ahead in the braking zone, but Darcy does come out in front. I move quickly to the inside and take the place too, or perhaps I don't. It turns out they were a back marker as well. A fast one, but it's no place gained. At least, not according to that super reliable TeamSport timing system. I'm sorry, I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I tried. So it's back to some clear track again, with Darcy pushing hard to catch back up to kart 10. She does receive a warning for her loading on the previous lap. Bam! Finally an improvement. My kart may be feeling slow on the straights, especially compared to Darcy's just up ahead, but I'm getting a feel for the track now. It's only taken me 45 laps. The next couple of laps were at similar lap times too, which was rather nice to see. I've now been caught by the race leader, so I just wave him on through. I get tagged on the rear going into turn 2 just as the yellow flags appear for another incident. Oh, the driver in last place has been put in the barrier, it seems. Should be an easy one to sort out though. Almost a lap later and we return to green flags. As kart 1 looks to line up against Darcy, but I don't think she's realised he's the race leader and she goes on the defensive. And whilst I am able to get my best run on her yet, my kart is just too slow on the straights to try anything sensible. Despite being in a bit of a train still, we seem to pick up some pace, this being my fastest lap of the race. I don't think it was perfect, but it was a pretty good one for me. Clearly 2/10 quicker than I'd been before. And so for the next couple of laps, we just continued to chase each other around the track. The last placed back marker makes another appearance again, so we're all starting to think about finding our way past him. Kart 10 gets past at the teardrop, but it seems the go-karting gods have decided it's time for a bit more chaos. The race leader tangles with the back marker on the start straight. It's like watching Checo and Sainz at Baku.
What happened there?
Chaos ensues and we eventually come to a stop under a red flag. And so that brings us to the final item on the list of things Leicester do differently to Sheffield, and it's the red flag restart. We loop around to get everyone in position and line up a rolling restart. We start the roll under the yellow flags with the intention of going to green flags as the leader reaches that banked hairpin. But it turned out that was it. End of the race. 12th place for me. I wasn't too concerned about my finishing position. I'd rather have not been the last place Sheffield driver, but I just could not find a way ahead of Darcy. I wasn't the slowest Sheffield driver though, so I'll take that and be happy with it. My teammate Thomas had managed to make his way all the way up to 4th place, so I've really let him down there. Once again, apologies from me. I forgot to take a note of the other teams or even who made it onto the podium. I was a bit busy preparing myself for the 1.5 hour drive home. But why didn't the race restart as planned? I know you're dying to find out. Well, we went around and we made it to that banked hairpin. But up ahead, someone went for a move that didn't quite work out. Kart 10 ended up in the barrier before coming to a rest on top of Darcy. As our time was already up, from there, we just filed back into the pit lane. At least Darcy's okay, despite someone parking their kart on her hand. As for me, I've got a lot of room for improvement, and by that I mean I might just take up knitting instead. There's less danger involved. So that was my first members race at Leicester. It's not my finest hour, but hey, there's always next time, right? So until then, cheers.